Condit?
Here.
Mr. Molina?
Here.
Mr. Silverston?
Here.
Mr. Williams?
Here. Approval of meeting minutes from August 9th, 2016. Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call on approval of minutes.
Mr. Hopkins?
Yes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina?
Yes.
Mr. Silverston?
Abstain.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Ricardo?
Yes. Amendments to the agenda.
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to remove Resolution 128, a resolution to hire Zach. Let's see, I said I wasn't gonna have to read this. Duberski as lifeguard for the Reminderville Athletic Club and declaring an emergency. First,
Need a roll call on removing resolution 128.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina?
Yes.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
Mr. Wiggins?
Yes.
Mr. Ricardo?
yes.
Mr. Hopkins?
Yes.
And I'd also like to remove Resolution 132, 2016, a resolution to accept the resignation from the Reminderville Police Department and revoking the police commission of Nicholas Yotis and declaring an emergency. First reading.
Second.
Roll call on removing resolution 132.
Mr. Molina?
Yes.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
Mr. Wiggins?
Yes.
Mr. Ricardo?
Yes.
Mr. Hopkins?
Yes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes. We'll go into the reports. Mayor?
I spent, most of my time's been spent on the rec, so we're just plugging along, trying to get some things that finished up, so that we'll be ready to go Tuesday. It's gonna be down to the wire, I think. What do you think, Al?
It's gonna be down to.
I like the way you think.
It's gonna be Tuesday morning, yeah.
I like the way you think. All right. That's it.
Thank you, sir.
Mondays.
Mr. Carpenter?
Just with regard to resolution 132, the resignation of Nick Yotis. I jumped the gun a little bit on that one. I spoke with Chief Wilk today, or Chief.
Wow.
Chief Wilk today. Thank God he's not
Let me
here.
make a phone call.
Don't
You
dare.
have to watch the YouTube.
Don't you dare. Chief Buck, he said he gave him a leave of absence instead of a resignation. So.
That's gonna be
Oh,
hard.
man.
That's gonna be hard to
I'm giving
recover
him an
from.
apology right now.
You been out in the sun a lot?
No, man, that was a phone call. Thank
You
God
shouldn't have
did.
shaved it off.
Right.
He's got pneumonia.
That's one of the first signs of Alzheimer's.
Actually, one of the first signs of Alzheimer's is not being able to create new memories. What's your name?
Recalling the old ones.
All right, let's move on. Engineering, Eric?
The Nautilus Trail culvert, we have requested for the notification from ODOT for the bridge to allow us to remove weight restrictions, still not received anything. We've also asked the contractor to complete the restoration. We made that request back in August when it was hot, and they asked if they could wait until the weather was a little cooler, just make it easier.
They were working yesterday on it.
Okay. And then we did a punch list walkthrough for Regatta Trail and Nautilus Trail on August 29th. There's still some issues with the restoration there. So the issue with the manhole that sticks up there on Regatta. Those things are going to be resolved here.
What about the cracked slabs on Nautilus?
Gene was going to talk to somebody at Trimore about how he wants those repaired.
Okay,
Some of them were pretty significant.
yeah. And there's also one, if I saw correctly, down by Skippers too.
There's quite a few.
Okay.
We documented everything.
All right.
We walked every slabs. Cleveland Water submittals, I sent a request to see what if we would qualify for funding for Anchorage, Ensign, Skippers, and Smugglers to be grouped as one project. I'm just waiting to hear back so that we can make application for that. I've also asked for the numbers on Surfside to see if that would qualify. And this would be for funding for 2018. And there is a request for a planning commission meeting. They have a revised plat for Liberty Ledges Phase 4. separate out the property that they plan to donate to the village before they record the plat, so there's a lot split in the revision of the plat, so I'll be scheduling a meeting for planning commission, and that's it.
Can you give me an update on the rear ditch on Florida?
On Florida, the latest word from Gene is that he wants to get plans approved for California Street and have Aurora ready, signing off on it before he does anything with the ditch, in case the road project impacts the ditch or vice versa. And that's the latest word that he gave me last week when I talked to him on that.
Did they meet with Aurora again?
I don't know if they've met since the July meeting.
I thought they were supposed to meet last Thursday or 2 Thursdays.
I have not received an update on that.
Call Fritz.
I'll definitely
He'll
help
be
you.
here tomorrow. What about any word now on Windjammer, on those rear yard culverts?
They were waiting for a quote from the company that did the Florida Street ditches. I haven't heard what that quote was. I know that the first 2 quotes that we did receive were very high, so they were hoping that that company would give us something a little more reasonable.
And I noticed today we talked about the curb cut
Yes.
on Mr. Dayton's property on East Boulevard.
Yes, and I did receive an email just before the meeting. They have that scheduled for the end of this week.
Okay. And what about the slab? Any update on that? Where they dug up the driveway? Like putting us.
I'm gonna call the contractor tomorrow to verify what work was ordered.
Okay.
So I do have the information. I just received an email right before we walked in, so.
And then, last thing, Terry, I'm sorry. The rear yard on Skippers and then those houses on the bubble on Nautilus where all that drainage ties in together. Any update on that?
It was the same day as our walkthrough on the 29th. I went out there with some OHM and the plumbing source, and 2 others are gonna bid on that.
Okay.
Give us both of them, sorry.
All right, thank you. That's the one last. All right, on the service department, everyone received a copy of Sam's report, just a couple of highlighted things. He's working on getting all the vehicles in for preventative winter maintenance so that we don't have breakdown issues. They've also gone through the village and primed and painted all the lamp poles. We received our last 100 ton of salt in the bin, and the fence up at the corner around Drug Mart, the white fence is gone. It does look much better. Most people probably don't even notice it's gone. The athletic club?
I'm gonna add something for the service department. The flowers, they're very disappointed in, they're basically all dead. I guess somebody knew where they got them this year. The person who they got them, it's the same company that they bought them from last year, but the person is different, the salesperson. So they basically gave us seeded flowers, so they all seeded and died, pretty much. So they're going someplace new next year, so we don't have dead plants. That's all.
Evan?
Just to kind of touch base on what the mayor is, we're really getting ready, and all these pieces and parts, getting the facility ready, which include balancing and cleaning the pool. Our phone systems are being implemented tomorrow and put in. Our front reception desk is going in on Thursday. We're powering up the fitness equipment on Friday. We're also looking at different safety things in the pool area as well as the fitness area, looking at our rules and regulations as well to make sure that we have those in place and they are correct for the time that we are open. Security cameras are currently in the fitness part of the building, and they're working their way across, putting more in the pool area, doorways, and the gymnasium. We are taking memberships right now, and to give you an update, we have sold 161 individual memberships. Reminderville residents, 130 of those encompass those 161. We have 17 Twinsburg memberships and 14 Aurora memberships. So they are coming in. I think that number is very good considering they haven't really seen the facility. They're purchasing on pictures and words, which is great. So that 20th will help, and also our big open house on the 1st will also jump those numbers tremendously.
Are most of those memberships annuals or monthly or what?
Those are all annuals at this point, so we're not taking monthlies until we're open, then we can start taking monthlies.
Okay, so it's 161 annuals.
Yeah,
That's
just
very
good.
good.
Mostly family.
It's about 75% family, the rest couples and individuals, the other 25%. So we are working hard this entire week. I did meet with Willowbrook Housing Association as well. They are meeting next week to discuss funding some of their people that live there with some discounted rates, or them paying a portion of their membership, which is great, even if it's $50 or $75. It's an incentive for that community to sign up for the rec, which is great. And big news of the day, just got this word a few hours ago. We've been working on this for a few months now. We are Silver Sneakers approved. So our facility, when people ask, we can say that yes, we will take Silver Sneakers. So we gotta submit some more paperwork, insurances.
Not Silver Fit, Silver.
Both. Yeah, both. So we're working with Deborah to get the proper paperwork over to those guys, what they need, but it's just paperwork, contracts, and we'll be able to accept those members here in the next few weeks, by next month. So that'll be a huge push for us.
Thanks, Adam, good job.
On Friday, you said they're coming in to hook up the fitness equipment, and are they also doing the training at that time too? Or?
Yeah, there'll be a training, yeah. There'll be a training.
Do you know what time, in case I wanted to sneak over there and learn how to use a stair stepper? Or
Yeah, he's coming on Friday. He didn't confirm a time yet, but we'll at least be able to power those things up. Yeah.
Could you let me know what time?
Yes,
that is?
yes, absolutely.
Thanks.
Deborah?
I have no report, but if council would consider passing ordinance 19 by emergency, it would help me to pay a couple bills that I've been holding on to. And most of the appropriations are really because the revenues have increased, which is good news. So it's to pay Rita. Two of those items are to pay Rita a higher fee because our revenues have increased. So if anybody has any questions about that ordinance or anything else? Otherwise, that's all I have.
Thank you, Deborah.
Yeah, I'll ask you when that comes up.
Okay.
Police chief, no report. Fire chief, Chief Plunkett and Chief Johns asked me to report on the 911 cellular. They met with the representatives from that company along with the lead dispatch at Twinsburg. Right now, she is in favor of it. She does need to go to the Twinsburg police chief. That looks like that could be close to the final step of getting them on board. It's not going to change anything that Twinsburg dispatch will do other than downloading a piece of equipment onto, or just downloading something onto their computer. Once it's there, they don't have to do anything else with it. So hopefully the next step will be the chief approves it. Tom's very optimistic that this will go through. Architectural Board of Review.
At our last meeting, we approved 9 decks, 1 shed, 1 fence, and the trash enclosure on the senior housing. It's in the back corner closest to Conrad. That's it.
Thank you, Mark. Planning and zoning, Terry, on the parking pad,
Yes.
does that need to go by emergency?
Yes, please.
Okay. And that's resolution 102. Thank you. Board of Zoning Appeals,
There will be a meeting in October. I just received the application. We may actually have two applications, so I'm waiting to hear about the second one before.
What are they for, do you know?
The one that I have received is for a house right here on Glenwood that is doing an addition to their garage, and they'll be encroaching the setback on the side yard.
Okay. Thanks, thank you, Mayor. Finance?
Finance met today before this meeting. We reconciled July's bank statement. And we also recommended payments in the amount of $874,975.12. 617 of that was, 617,000 of that was pay app number 6 for the rec center. Our next meeting will also be at 6 o'clock on the 27th, where we'll do August's bank rec. And we're going to the first meeting of October, which is the 11th. The budget will be presented to the finance committee, and that'll start at 5. That is all.
Thank you, Tom. Cable, no report. Communications?
The report.
Long-term community development, no report. Parks and Rec?
At our last meeting, Colleen and Stacy came up and joined us, and as you know, all the events are being coordinated through the rec center now. And we came to the conclusion that it's a duplication of efforts to continue with the Parks and Rec Commission, or committee, and that we should just work together with them. What's bringing it up to hear your thoughts on that. Our thought was that it would be a less formal committee, that was more of an advisory committee to work with Colleen and Stacy and share any information that we have so that you can continue. We plan to continue all the same events, and the ladies have even more in mind. But it's not required in the charter that we have a recreation committee. And the rec center gives us like a focal point to promote all these events. You know, people going in and out the door can see, I don't know, what kind of bulletin board or some kind of advertising. And the rec budget is already part of the rec center budget. So I don't believe that would take any legislation to change the line item on that, would it? So, along with that, would it take any legislation to dissolve the rec committee?
Are you gonna dissolve it, or are you gonna work together with them?
Yeah.
Well, that's, like I said, we were thinking of a more of a voluntary advisory committee that communicated more through email and maybe met when necessary. You know, like met when, right now we were meeting every month, which really wasn't necessary, but as you have like the Santa delivery coming up, or right now we got the Halloween party coming up, to meet like once before that.
If you're gonna have irregular meetings, that's fine. I would, from what you're saying, I would go ahead and keep the committee as it stands. And the fact that you don't have monthly meetings, but you're gonna have irregular meetings when these events are coming up, or you're gonna schedule a meeting with the two ladies, do it then. But, you know, you can still report, still need a liaison to council to report on some of these things, because you said there's less than 200 members in the rec club right now. And I don't know how you would say you have 2,000 members. It's still not getting the word out to everybody, even though you're posting it on the board. I think council, I think it's a good idea to continue to have the committee if you're going to do some work, if you're going to continue to work with the rec center people.
Laura, how did you, when you talked, who else on that with?
Johnny Reed, Caitlin Silverstone, and myself.
And how did you envision it when you guys talked about it? I mean, right now, because of everything that we have going on, I mean, for so many years, we relied heavily on you
Right.
to
And
produce things for us, and now, like, to release some of that burden and let
Well,
them do what they're supposed to do.
most of the publicity for all of the events are gonna go in that
Right.
quarterly little flyer thing. And Colleen and Stacy assured our committee that all of the things that were near and dear to our hearts and the community activities that have been going on,
We could
which
change.
we thought the community would sadly miss if we didn't continue those. They agreed that those were programs that they would want to continue, but we felt that they have the wherewithal to coordinate things better, to publicize things better, and they had already done that with the Santa delivery, the Halloween party, and those are the last two things that we have this year, so we just felt, and Caitlin Silverstein was not there, although I did speak with her at length after the meeting, and we all agreed, Johnny was not there, so I had not spoken with him, but we agreed that it would benefit the community better to have it all encompassed at the rec center. What I personally had envisioned was maybe something along the lines, and I don't know what you'd call it, you know, and it wouldn't just be us, we would try and recruit, you know, like a young family with children, a senior, you know, an exercise buff, you know, that would meet maybe quarterly, right before the new bulletin came out, with their feelings about how things are running there.
Kind of
Maybe-
an ad hoc type
Yes,
situation.
yes, and my thoughts is maybe they would, you know, be hesitant to just call up there and say, hey, I wish you'd do this, but maybe if they knew that there was this, they could reach out to their fellow constituents, you know, the exercise guy could talk to all his exercise people and say, you know, how do you like this, is there new equipment you'd like to get, whatever, and I'm sure they'll be communicating with
Okay.
Adam and his staff as well, but that's kind of what we thought, rather than meeting every month. And it doesn't have to be that same group of people, maybe we should reach out and try and find some more people that would want to serve on that committee.
Well, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the work you've done in the past, and Caitlin, and Johnny.
Yep.
Everybody does a
Yep.
great job. Are you gonna continue, I guess, in your liaison?
Sure. In fact, I wanted to, as you thank them, I think we're gonna continue with the most important thing we do, and that's provide volunteers. The people you just mentioned are always there at the events. Mario's always there to help. We've got other people volunteering to help, and I think that'll be a big portion, along with handing down the information and contacts that we have to keep providing volunteers to make these things run as smooth as they did in the past.
But I like your idea to reach out to other people in the village. Work on some other things that they might do.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Before we go to records, I also, Stacy, if you could give us a brief synopsis of the wonderful picnic you and Colleen threw for the seniors.
Yeah, the senior picnic went very, very well. We had Station 43 come out with a grill and cook hot dogs and hamburgers for everybody, and all the seniors brought a ton of food, side dishes and desserts and everything, and it was very good weather. It was a perfect day, and
Very well
people
attended.
showed up. Yeah, it was very good. Definitely something we're gonna do obviously next year. So the seniors Halloween party is next, so again, I'm waiting to see what costumes the Williamses are gonna shop in. And, yeah.
Thank you for all your hard work, yours and Colleen's on the picnic. Thank you. Records?
No report.
Oh, sorry, no report.
Oh, the law director and Jed.
Jed met last Tuesday here at the Village Hall. We approved the 2017 Jed board budget of $109,500, which is the same as 2016. We also had a presentation from a company within the Jed asking for an abatement of tax penalty for failure to file correctly from 2010 to 12, I think it was. And we made a recommendation to the village's tax abatement board, which I think you're on, Mario, to waive that penalty. The actual tax was $20,000, interest was $5,000, and they were trying to get $90,000 in penalties. So we just felt that it was kind of ridiculous. And it's been paid, it's been taken care of. So, have you heard about scheduling a meeting?
Have you heard it? Not yet.
How does that work? Who schedules that?
They do it with Deborah.
It's the last Wednesday of the month, if items come up, so there's a couple. Remember we talked about the new one that came through? And
Yes.
whether it should wait,
Right.
so I'll be sending an email.
Okay.
All three of the board members are in this room, so I'll be sending.
Our next meeting is the first Tuesday of December at the Twinsburg Township Hall at 7 o'clock.
Can I add something on the JED before you?
You can add
Talking about it. About a month ago, 3 weeks ago, we found out that the JED is being audited for the first time. So, working through it. And learning how we used to have council approve the appropriations for some of the JED items. And I don't think we've done that for a while, but we're still working through what the process is supposed to be. Someone needs to be approving it, so just heads up that there could be more changes coming down based on the audit.
Are you gonna be told how we do records that they're not properly done again? Probably do it a different way?
Probably.
It'd probably be opposite of what the
Yeah,
What you were told
state
last time.
told the village how to do it.
Yeah. but we'll figure it out.
Who's conducting that audit?
Okay.
So they're not doing a third party to
There's
do it?
no
They're-
IPA, it's the
Okay.
state.
They have somebody that needs some work.
Yep.
Don't want anybody to forget who he is.
Yeah, no, I was good with it down there.
Thank you, Tom. Okay, ordinance 19, 2016, an emergency ordinance to make appropriation and revenue adjustments for the 2016 village budget, first reading that will be going by emergency.
So
Resolution,
you wanna talk about some of that? I'm sorry.
oh, that's all right.
Did you have a question, or you want me to
Um,
just go over what? it
Mainly
is?
with the revenue, I think, personally, I think the expense appropriations are go through the road levy, that's right, that was one of them. Why is that such a difference?
That is, even though we're not doing any road projects this year, the engineering firm that is doing the documents that are needed to put it out to bid, and I'm not sure what else is involved, but that money has to be paid out ahead of the project actually being done. So Terry and I have talked about how to improve that whole process in the future, because right now, just when I get a bill, then I am asking for appropriations. So I'm requesting that OHM give me a budget for 2017 for what projects they'll be working on in that stage, and as well as the road project, so that we know exactly how much, or a better estimate of how much is gonna be paid out.
And is this just because we didn't plan originally to use,
Yes,
we have the money, we
Yes.
just didn't appropriate enough of what money
Correct.
was coming in,
Correct.
collecting?
the insurance premium, there was a slight increase due to the value increase, in some of the buildings and the vehicles that we owned, and then also, they added law director insurance. That was
They added
something
what?
new. Law director insurance. And the RETA fees are self-explanatory. The revenues are based on the last few years and what we've received in September through December. And the 2041 is the rec fund. That is an estimate, it's a low estimate of what we anticipate taking in memberships and latchkey, some of the programming for the rest of the year. And the rest of it is RETA.
So so the 1,000 fund REIT income tax, that's the general fund that we come in.
Yeah.
What's the 2071 REIT income tax?
I'm sorry, that's the 2071 is the fire income tax fund.
Fire. Okay. I
Yeah.
was thinking it had something to do with the jet too, but you're right.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's all good news,
Yeah.
basically.
Thank you, very good news, I think.
Resolution 102, 2016, a resolution to accept the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission to approve a temporary parking pad in front of Ryan Homes Model Home on Sublot 2 of Liberty Ledges Phase 1, second reading. That will be going by emergency. Resolution 114, 2016, a resolution to accept the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission to approve the final plan for Phase 9 of the Harrington Place subdivision, second reading. Resolution 120, 2016, a resolution to hire Stan Cirque as a part-time laborer in the Department of Public Service to be paid at the rate of $13 per hour, second reading. Mr. Scafidi asked that this goes by emergency, and Resolution 121 because all of our summer help is now gone and he would like to be able to start these two gentlemen next week. Resolution 121, 2016, a resolution to hire Joseph Biniak as a full-time laborer in the Department of Public Service to be paid at the rate of $14.75 per hour, second reading. Resolution 125, 2016, a resolution accepting the resignation of Lisa Noodleman from the Village of Reminderville Latchkey Program effective September 2nd, 2016, first reading, and we would like that to go by emergency. Resolution 126, 2016, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into an agreement with the Sendex for the Reminderville Athletic Center IT infrastructure and turn up for sum not to exceed $15,418.93. First reading, and Adam, you would like that to go by emergency?
Yes, please.
Resolution 127, 2016, a resolution to hire Stephanie Hartland as lifeguard for the Reminderville Athletic Club and declaring an emergency, first reading. Resolution 129, 2016, a resolution to hire Jason Tompkins as a lifeguard for the Reminderville Athletic Club and declaring an emergency, first reading. Resolution 130, 2016, a resolution to promote Patricia Goodnight to latchkey leader for the Reminderville Athletic Club and declaring an emergency, first reading. And Resolution 130 and 131, these two gals will be replacing the position that Lisa Noodleman had filled. Resolution 131, 2016, a resolution to promote Dolores Resch to latchkey leader for the Reminderville Athletic Club and declaring an emergency, first reading.
You don't need two lifeguards by emergency?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
we
do.
Did you say that before? I'm sorry.
Old business. Any old business?
I don't know if this is old or new, but the flags that were up, the American flags and the flags of the different branches of the military, could we keep those up full time? I think it looks awesome with them up.
I asked Sam that because we had a couple, Laura and Walton, we had a couple more people call and say how much they like that, and I asked him, and he said that he just happened to come across those. The guys were at Sam's Club and they saw them and thought they'd be nice, and he doesn't think they would last very long in the weather, so he's basically gonna put them up for Memorial Day, Labor Day, 9/11. that kind of stuff.
I think it's good too, if it's just for special occasion, then you'll really notice them. I think that's good.
Okay, any new business? New business?
Motion to adjourn.
Roll call on adjournment.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
Mr. Wiggins?
Yes.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Conner?
Yes.
Mr. Molina?
Yes.